Alright, welcome back. So this is video 1 of 15 for the anticipating this setup. Okay, so these 15 videos now, I'm going to make them as short as possible, just to get the point across and to give you something to look at in order to try and train your eyes to see the pattern itself. Okay, now following this series, this part of the series, I'm going to follow it up with target identification, so where you could take profits from, and then following that I'm going to be looking at where these setups are likely to form. Okay, so the next 15 videos are purely just to show you the pattern, what it looks like and how it plays out. Okay, so I'm going to be using the trading view replay feature in all 15 videos, purely because it gives me a quicker way to be able to show you what the pattern does, how it looks, and how to trade it. Okay, so if I was doing this on live trades, it would take me all day, and in some cases 2 or 3 days recording the video in order to get the point across. Okay, so sometimes my trades are 2 or 3 days long. Okay, so I don't want to be recording the screen for 2 or 3 days trying to make these videos. Anyway, back on point. So I'm going to play the chart now. Okay, and as we come up to the points of interest, I am then going to start highlighting areas that we're looking at. Okay, so let's get on with it. Okay, so question 1 then, do we have equal highs or lows? Okay, so yes we do there. Okay, and if I extend it across here, we also have that there. Okay, so in order for this to play out, we need equal highs or lows, which we've got here. We need to run through them, break a structure. Okay, so that's question 1 done. Okay, so question 2 then, have them lows been ran? And the answer is yes. Okay, they have been ran. Now, for this to be a valid setup, we'd be looking for a break of market structure, which would be here. Okay, so I'm just going to make this line black because it'll show up better on the videos, and make it a proper line. Okay. Right, let's continue. Okay, so can you see a really small set of equal lows there? Okay, and they have been ran. Okay, and there would be a small breaker structure. If we had a small breaker structure there, that could be a potential for a very small short-term trade. Okay, because it's a smaller structure break on a bigger structure that we're looking at. Okay. Okay, so that's a breaker structure. Then you've got the retracement back into structure, where you could look for a long position. Okay, and as you can see, that is going towards a profitable area. But like I say, you wouldn't be looking to try and hold this for too long, okay, because it's a small structured pattern. Okay, so looking at this now, so if you go back to the first video, which was the basic training video, I said in that video I was talking about equal highs and lows don't necessarily need to be really clean. Okay, they can be a little bit choppy, and now if you look at in this case here, we've got this level of support there. Okay, so we've had a bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, and a bounce here. Okay, so we've got a set of lows there. Okay, so what's the next step? We're looking for them to be ran. Okay, so that'll be question 2. Now, if they get ran, it all depends on the structure in a minute. So I'll have a look how this plays out. Okay, so now we've got lows. Okay, have they been ran? Yes. Okay, now in order for this to be a potential for a valid setup, we need a break of market structure. Okay, so this is the last swing point before the lows got ran. Okay, so the last swing point, lows got ran. Okay, so I'm just going to number these up now. Okay, so number 1, let me just pause this. Okay, number 1. Okay, equal lows. Okay, 2, 2 ran through. Okay. 3, did price reject? Yes, it did. So 3 rejection. And then finally, question 4. If you've watched the first video, you know what the fourth one is. So that is break of structure. Okay. Now, once we got this, we need to start hunting for a potential setup. Okay, so this is why it's really good to have a criteria. Okay, so you wouldn't want to get in down here because it hasn't confirmed anything. It could just retrace and continue lower. All right, so now we've had the break of structure. We've had all 4 questions marked off. Equal lows, yes. Have they been ran? So what underneath these lows here, you're going to have stop losses. Okay, so anyone that's gone long off these bounces are going to have stops sitting under here. And you're also going to have sell stops for anyone that's trying to go short on a breakout to the downside. All right, so this move here, what this does in two birds with one stone. Okay, so it's going to take out the stop losses of the buyers. Okay, and at the same time it's going to activate sell stops, so it's going to get people short in the market and trip them breakout traders in. And as you can see, then it starts to reverse from that point. Okay, so as soon as it starts to reverse, anyone that's short here is now going to be pulled into the negative. Right, now where are we going to be looking for potential entries? Okay, so I have 2 areas of, on this chart here, I'll be looking at 2 levels. Okay, so one, I'd be potentially looking for this bit to get filled in here, this up candle, this white candle. Okay, so that would be one area I'd have interest. But I'd be looking at also, see this down candle, this black candle here that caused the move up. Okay, so I'd be looking for a retest of this market structure here. Right, so I'm going to drop a horizontal ray just on that point there. Okay, so where this swing point is here that took these lows out, you've also got that down candle that caused the move up. Alright, so my first entry point would be based on that specific candle there. Okay, now we're starting to put in equal lows here, so we're expecting to run through the stops here. Okay, underneath these, come into this point here. Now my stop would go underneath this candle. Okay, a couple of pips underneath the candle. Now this is XRP USD as well, I forgot to mention, on a 15-minute chart. Okay, so this is just to prove that it does work in crypto as well as Forex. Alright, so that would be my first entry point. If it got stopped out, I like to keep a tight stop loss. Alright, I don't want to put my stop down here. Okay, so if I was going to use a stop loss, okay, I'd have my first stop's going to go under here. Okay, and then if that got taken out, I'd be looking for a second entry down here. Okay, now if that was the case, my stop loss would be going underneath here. Okay, underneath that support. And then if it continued any lower, I'd want to be out the trade as soon as possible. Okay, so this is where your risk management comes into as well. So you don't want to be risking 50% of your account on the first entry. You want to risk a small amount. If it does get stopped out, the account's not getting damaged. Right, and then if it comes down to this point, you've got a second potential entry there. Okay, so for you guys who like Fibonacci, okay, you just take it from the swing point to the high point. Okay, you got your 62% there, 705 there. Okay, so that's going to be your Fibonacci retracement level as well, if you can't quite get your eyes tested, trained to see the structure. Okay, so I don't really use fibs, it's not really one of my things. I just like to see the price action. All right, so have we had equal lows? Yes. Have we had to run through them? Yes. And then obviously 3 is going to be the rejection point here. Okay, 4 is going to be this high here, broken structure. Okay, and all we're waiting for then is price to come back in order for us to get long. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be getting in long here. Okay, so this will be entry 1. Okay, and that's going to be where we'd like to take our first position. Right, so like I say, if it does come down and stop us out, not to worry. We'd look to get in here on the second potential area for a setup. Right, so let's play it out. Okay, so that's now triggered into a long position. And it's important you don't move your stop loss too early, because if you move it too early, you can get stopped out and then the market goes in your favour. Okay, and as you can see now, the market's just starting to take off. Alright, so I'm not going to play it all all the way through the price action, okay, but this is just a point where you could have taken a position. All right, so I'm not going to be talking about targets here. This is for another video, but this entire video here is just to get the process out of how it looks when you take out stops. You get the fast move away and breaker structure, come back down for the retest entry. Okay, you can see how precise that entry would have been, okay, if we did get long there. Okay, so very minimal risk to reward. So as high as this market did go, let me have a look. If you did take a long position down here, okay, the first initial stop loss was going to be right underneath that candle there. Okay, and as high as the market did go, let me see. So the peak of that first push would have been a 34.48 to 1. Okay, so if you're risking 1% on that trade, that would have been a 34% gain on your account. Okay, so it just goes to prove if you can get real good entry, tight entry. You know, if you did lose the first position, you're getting on the second position. Okay, and then the second position might have got 20 to 1, 25 to 1, something like that. All right, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.